Look at that. Almost mirror images of each other. Can't ask for more than this. Well, if you have a gap there, if you come pull in front of me there, it's a lovely spot for you, but wherever you want to go in for. I'm just going to go back slightly. Get that branch out of the lion's face. Guys, I'm just going to make a little bit of space here for Abel. Fantastic view of those two lions looking at us sort of from the same line. Look at that. Stunning. That's a full belly. Mr. T seems to like walking. Quite often the guys find him up far north into Buffelshoek. So he does seem to cover more ground than the others. Let's have a look at these other two as well. They're also lifting their heads up. Big maned lions. The guy on the right there has got a spectacular mane. Wish I had a camera, get some close-up photos of these guys. Gayan.
Just got a interesting question from Valerie about the mane. She says it seems to be quite lacking. Does this affect his standing with the group or affect the chance of mating or finding a mate?
Thanks, Jim. Copy. Valerie, it's an interesting question, especially while we're looking at this guy with his awesome mane. The fact that Mr. T doesn't quite have the big mane of the other males in the group probably would affect his mating opportunity to some extent. Again, there can be variables within behavior, but typically research has shown that females normally prefer manes with big manes, males with big manes. There's a lot of similar sounding words in that sentence. So typically females do have a slight preference for bigger maned lions, just because that obviously is a sign of health and virility. But I'm sure he'll get his opportunities as well. And why I say that is that with these specific males, the Mapogos, they've now taken over such a large territory that there's multiple females, multiple prides in it. And like I said earlier, Mr. T does seem to walk around a little bit more than the other males. So in that, you might also find opportunity every now and again. But I would say, if I really had to guess, that he probably gets to, over the next many years of their reign, he will father less cubs than maybe this guy that we're looking at now. Keep in mind, there's obviously, this is actually, can be a very long discussion, but even if he never gets to mate, and let's say just these two males did almost all the mating and Mr. T never got to actually father cubs, purely by him being part of the coalition, and by him helping them keep an area free of other males, and by that ensuring that lots of cubs grow up, he's still genetically successful. These guys would all be related. Typically coalitions are normally brothers or cousins, so they would normally have the same fathers and maybe different mothers, or even the same mother. So by Mr. T ensuring that the coalition can successfully stay in this territory for a while, he is making sure that at least parts of his genetics are passed on. But again, Valerie, and also for all the rest of everyone that's, I'm sure, fascinated by these lions, unfortunately we get to see so little of them. We normally just get sort of bits of radio talk and a bit of updates from other guys, what they've been up to. So we can't say exactly what the dynamics are of this group. Hopefully over time, over the next few years, we'll be able to have larger access areas so that we can see more consistent behavior from specific animals. 3 very lazy lions. So we have to sometimes speculate a little bit relative to the information we have on these lions, and also relative to what lions typically do. But obviously the best way to see is in the end is to be around their behavior when it happens. Giving us a very lazy peek there. I'm sure everyone's enjoying it. Just from the questions that's come through so far, I really enjoyed them, and also quite a few familiar names. Like I said earlier, morning drivers are very special to me. I love the early mornings, and today is an extra special day in terms of it being so misty, and you can't really call it overcast. Looks like about 30 meters, 40 meters from the ground surface it becomes clear, but luckily for us we're driving around in this mist. It's nice and cool. Again, can't complain about that. We've had some very hot weather lately, and this is a very long build-up to me basically saying we're going to take the morning easy. At the moment, there's no other game drives on the way. There might be 1 or 2 game drives joining us now and again, but since we don't really get to see these lions often, we're going to spend time with them. They might be sleeping for a lot of it. They'll pop their heads up every now and again like this guy is doing for us now. But we're just going to have a very laid-back, sort of almost passive game drive this morning. Spend as much time with these lions as we can.